Well, today's the 26th of March 2024, and I bought this sprint car like 15 years ago, and you kind of tell it's been around. Anyway, that was the hood, or here's the hood. You can see the dust, how long it's been sitting, and some of my other toy cars. But it's over there right now. So I'm starting this YouTube thing. We'll see how this works out. I decided to work on it. It's been sitting long enough. So I got it on the rotisserie, and I started on the suspension. So I bought a street rod quick change for it. That was like, what, 3,000 bucks? And them shocks down there, they're 500 a piece. And I got me a 383 stroker motor. It's a 1970 4-bolt main block. Got an air gap manifold, Edelbrock carburetor, HEI distributor, and I'm going to put that in. I've been doing some modifications to it. The way they build them is you can't get the rear end out unless you put it in pieces, so I decided to cut this part out and make me a way to get it in and out in case I have issues. And I'm converting to coil over shocks. It was torsion bar, so I'm going to make this into a sway bar and cut this one out. It was kind of in the way, so I needed some wiggle room back here, so I'm going to move the rear end back an inch, and that way it'll have an inch of clearance. This has a posi unit with 411 gear, and I'm putting a Willwood disc brake setup on the back. And I had a late model I cut up, so I modified this stuff so I can convert it to 4-bar instead of 3-bar. And this thing was 94-inch wheelbase, so I'm going to extend it to 97. See, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep. And I have a street rod front axle over there and a chrome one in that box right there. But I'm not going to use them. I'd put it around the ground too close. So I'm going back with the original axle, and I'm converting this to 4-bolt or 4-link, and I'm going to put a rack and pinion on the back side of it. And I was going to go with Watts, J-bar, whatever, to keep the rear end centered, but I found out with experimenting, the old Jacob's ladder, it's primitive, but it works. So I drew it out on the floor. The 6-inch version, the 7-inch, which is that one, and the 8-inch is that one, and they just won't work. So I'm going with this one here. It's a 6-inch version. If anybody knows about a Jacob's ladder, this is it. So I'm going to cut her down to 12 inches. And then these straps right here, I'm going to make them into these things here. So I have Heim joints on it. I got one up here. I made a jig yesterday for it. So this is kind of the way it goes. And I weld this nut in the middle, and this 3/4 bolt goes inside of the tube, and then I plug weld it there so that part stays, and then I'll weld around the nut. And this is 6 inches here. It takes the place of this strap here. And let's see, what else? Oh, I'm going to move the motor forward about 2 inches. The header will probably be real close to this pipe right here. I want to stretch the wheelbase a little bit, because what I'm running is a 200 R4 automatic. It don't require a computer. I don't want computer nothing. And this thing, here's my dummy power glide. It don't have nothing in it, so I can pick it up. And this is an Allison automatic shifter. Has 4 positions in it. It's pretty simple. I want everything simple. And as you can see right here, I got a lot of foot room. The power glide had all that stuff sticking in the way. So anyway, here's my oil pan. It's I got offered 1,800 bucks for this thing, if you can believe it, because it's pretty rare. It's a 4-bolt block. That's just my dummy block. So anyway, let's see, the fuel tank. It was, I got this one here that I picked up It was a, I think it was a Joe Conroy coil at one time or another. Come from Ohio. This was the nose on it. And the tank is that tall, if you can believe it. In comparison, there is a big oxygen settling bottle. And it's sitting on the floor right now. And it's just too pretty to butcher. So anyway, it's orange, number 18 on it. You can look it up on the internet. And so I'm going to use this one here. It's an old beat up one. It's kind of big, but it was plastic, had a rubber bladder in it. So I just cut out the inside of it. There's nothing in there. And it's going to be a shell, and I'll just build a gas tank for it. And anyway, the history on this car, I'll explain it later. Right now, this is my project, is getting the rear end mounted in it, and then I'll work it on the front end, because I'd sure like to get the thing running this year. So that's the video I'm going to start out with, this one, and then I'll show you some others. See you later, bye.